Alright, what's going on guys here? It's Zeegred here. And today, as you can see from inside the video, we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia. And specifically about My Hero Academia, the main character, Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku. So basically we'll be talking about Deku's potential in the possible arc, and what I think is going to happen. Alright, so as you can already see into this video, we already know that Deku, we haven't seen much of Deku in this arc already. So we really, the last time we seen him was when he blew up that wall, and of course, well, yeah, when him and Kirishima went and blew up the wall. I think Deku may have punched or kicked it. Can't remember, but anyway, so we're talking about his potential and what I think is absolutely going to happen. Like I said, so as we see already, we already know that Kirishima is getting a lot of limelight, especially in the recent chapters with Fat Gum and all of them. We also have Sun Eater. And then we had Lumillion or Medio. So hey, they're doing a lot, but we haven't seen much Deku. Deku hasn't had a time to shine, to at least to fight off the little lackeys. You know what I mean? Now what I think is what Horikoshi is trying to fucking do is I think Horikoshi is trying to let us suspense. We're not seeing much of Izuku because because we already seen enough. Well, not enough, but we're not seeing much of Izuku because he's waiting little by little until we find Chisaki, aka Overhaul, but he's waiting until we find Chisaki, because I think that Midoriya, aka Deku, is going to stop Chisaki. But I know what you guys are thinking, My Hero Academia fans. Oh, but Zeegred, uh, Deku can't, fight him. He can only use 8% of One for All. Now that is where you're wrong. Um, well, you're not wrong, but let me explain myself here. I think Deku's going to fight Overhaul because it makes sense. All Might can't do it, and he's really the only one with brute strength there. Fat Gun already stopped. Aizawa isn't good. He's good on one-on-one, but he can only really erase his quirk for that much and tie him up, but that isn't going to do much. Plus, Deku has to learn how to use more of One for All, and what better way to do that than pushing himself. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna like use 100% and blow up his arms. I think he's gonna be able to bring down Chisaki, and by doing that, he's gonna have to force him to use more than just 8%. Okay, because he's going to use 5%, use 8%, but he knows that further into the timeline or in the future, he's gonna have to be able to use at least up to 100% or maybe even more, depending on really the enemy. So what I think he's either gonna pump it up to 8 to 10%. No, wait, yeah. He's gonna pump it up from 8% to maybe 10%. At the most, I think he'll probably pump up to maybe 15%, because really, from 5 to 8% wasn't really that much. It's still not that much. At least we haven't really seen him with 8% of his power. We only see him that little tiny bit between Bakugo. He hasn't really fought anybody. We've seen that he blew up a wall, but he can blow up a wall with 5% of One for All. He thinks a really, you know, it's a pretty big quirk. Well, not a pretty big quirk, it's a pretty powerful quirk. But I think he's at least going to maybe, at the most, what I think, he's going to pump it up to maybe 10 to 15%, and we're going to see that he's going to have to do that, because 8% isn't going to be enough to beat Chisaki. We already know that, and we definitely don't want to see Midoriya have any help. At least I don't want to see Midoriya have any help, because we already seen Midoriya have to be helped and go like that. I know that character himself, Midoriya himself, wouldn't want to be helped. Why would he? Because he's had to have people help him in basically his whole hero career. You know what I mean? It's gotta be his time to shine. He's gotta do this by himself. So to do that, he's gonna have to push himself to go to 10 to 15%. I hope he goes up to 15, because that would be a lot better. I think he should have been able to use 15 from the beginning, but I mean, there's got to be something for progression. I mean, it's better than saying at least 5% is better than saying he can only use 1% of One for All. But honestly, that's what I think is going to happen in an upcoming arc. I think that Deku's going to end up finding Chisaki, and he's going to be the one to take him down. And that will prove, at least to everyone else, that Deku is no longer that helpless child. Well, he wasn't. I mean, he has quick wasn't that much of a helpless little child. But I think that at least he can finally be the hero, and people can show him that he has the potential to become the #1 hero. All Might thinks it, but everyone else doesn't think it. Like, well, I mean, he still doesn't have that much power. He still can't use that much power in his quirk. So, but I think if he takes down Chisaki, he'll definitely probably be on his way to becoming #1 hero. Because you already know he becomes the world's greatest hero, but he hasn't really shown any actual promise. Besides, honestly, really probably taking down Stain, but even then, that wasn't that much. He didn't do it alone. He had help from Ida and Todoroki. But this time, it's time for Deku to step up and become the symbol of peace. He has to stand up and after he beats Chisaki, if there's going to be media coverage, he has to stand up, put his fist in the air and say, I am here. Alright, but anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you like this video, some of my recent videos are showing up on the screen. Also, should be a subscribe button somewhere around there. Go ahead and click on that. It really helped me out. Leave a like on this video. Hopefully, we can get this video to at least 15 likes. Alright, and besides that, I've been Zeegred, and I'm signing out.